I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here to NNSCRA TV's coverage of race number 9 of the inaugural season of the NNSCRA Duracell Ultra Lite Series as we get ready for the first of 2 super speedway races here this weekend. Tonight, we are under the lights at Armory Digital Super Speedway in preparation for 48 laps of super speedway action. This racetrack a little over 2.5 miles in length. A very interesting turns 1 and 2, and we'll see if it's going to play as much of a wild card factor here tonight as our first super speedway race at Daytona did. On the pole position for this one this evening is going to be Sophia Simon in the 38. Sophia Simon's been on a bit of a skid as of late, dropped 5 spots in the standings after last week's race at Charlotte, and she's 13th in overall points coming to this one. Good starting track position tonight for her. Eric Monaco looking to take the points lead back away from Benny Watson. Former winner on the season, Eric Monaco, only 3 points out of the points lead, will share the front row, but Watson's not that far behind. He's literally 1 spot back in 3rd on this lineup as he comes into this race, the only 2-time winner on the season, and he is the current points leader, 3 points up over Eric Monaco, with Aaron Macklin going to be the outside of row number 2. Macklin comes to this race 18th in points, so definitely needs a good points run here this evening. So far, we've had 7 different drivers go to victory lane in the first 8 races of the season. The most recent of them, Sergio Alonso, last week on a fuel strategy call late at the Charlotte Motor Speedway to pick up his first career win. Sergio's going to have to do a lot of work here tonight, though, because he will be starting from the 21st position. That is dead last. Granted, though, it is a super speedway, so starting track position may not be as prominent as one would think. We'll have to see how long it will be before that 52 can make his way up to the front in a bid for back-to-back victories and join Benny Watson potentially as a multiple-time winner on the season. But a lot of other drivers also would like to be able to get that second win on the year. We'll see if that's going to be the case or if we'll have another first-time winner. Let's go get the command to fire up the engines here tonight.
Drivers, start your engines!
Just like when we talked about the transporter. At the end of pit road, the last pit box is a timing line. So the last white line on pit exit is the line. 6 thumbs up, my friend. Have a good time.
Pace car going to bring the 21 car lineup around the access road here through 1 and 2. As you see on the right side of your screen, the starting lineup for tonight's race. Your points coming into this race currently look as follows. We already documented about the top 2. Benny Watson, points leader, 3 points up over Eric Monaco. John Lightning Jr. still within striking distance to be the points leader heading into next week. He is 16 points back. Cole Coybe still sits 4th in points, 20 points out of the points lead. The top 4 in standings did not change last week at Charlotte. Austin Reed, though, managed to move up a spot to 5th. He's 34 points out. Stephen Burnside gained 3 spots in standings last week to move to 6th. He's 35 points back. Roberto Crown Jr., former winner of the season, sits 7th. He's 37 points back. David Dixon lost 3 spots last week, as he is 8th in overall points, 41 points out. Madeline Crenshaw moved up into the top 10 for, I believe, the first time this season, gaining 3 spots last week at Charlotte. Now 9th in overall points, 42 points back. And Jack Mitchell is 10th in overall points, 44 points out of the points lead. A couple other drivers that made some gains in the point standings last week. Obviously, Herschel Alonso with his victory, up 6 spots, now 12th in overall points. Benjamin Snyder gained a couple spots up to 14th. And Kat Batson with a good run last week jumped up 3 spots to 16th place. Just keep an eye on those drivers, as they are currently on an upward trend. But it is the Ford of Sophia Simon, the Chevrolet of Eric Monaco, who head down through the restart zone, waiting on the flagman to wave the green flag, and it is out as we are underway here at Armory Digital Super Speedway. There's that very unusual turns 1 and 2, a bit of a dip down bump. A tight corner there. Benny Watson wasting no time to go to the lead. Austin Reed says, I want the top spot. Already these drivers just making their way into turn 3. Speeds upwards of 215 miles per hour in the pack. High speed, high action here. Gonna be a lot of fun here tonight. Pit road maybe will come into play. We'll have to wait and see. It certainly did last week at Charlotte, as it will be Roberto Crown Jr. who's going to lead the first lap of the night here. Just barely over Austin Reed, and then 3 wide for 3rd place. Nathan Fogler in the middle, Watson up top, Koibe on the bottom. I think tonight's going to be very difficult for a driver to get to the lead and stay there, as we're looking 4 wide back there. That's David Dixon way down on the bottom. Benjamin Snyder and Aaron Macklin are in the middle of the 4 wide situation. Eric Monaco way up on the top. That inside line definitely moving, though, as who's going to lead this lap? Looks like maybe Reed will get it by about half a car length over Kyle Langland. A couple of former winners on the season. Kyle Langland winning at Devil's Bowl. Only 1 previous Super Speedway track has been run so far this season for the Ultralight Series drivers. That, as we mentioned earlier, was at Daytona. Benny Watson, the winner at that one. So you can go 2 for 2 at Super Speedways, but Super Speedways also, outside of the Daytona 500 and the Daytona opening week, usually the Super Speedways, I don't know what it is, they have an uncanny knack of trending towards helping out the rookies or the underdogs. You have certain instances where a strong veteran driver on the season is able to pick up a victory, but a lot of times it always seems to be a driver that absolutely needs the victory, that is struggling in the point standings, has not had a lot of luck come their way. I don't know, the Super Speedways seem to know that, and they always seem to work things out into their favor. We got a bunch of drivers that certainly would like that to be them here tonight. Have not had the best of the first 8 races so far this season. Cody Smart, Samet Ozkan, Aaron Macklin, Nathan Stapleton all down there towards the bottom of the point standings. Would love a little jolt to be able to move up through the standings and get themselves in this back in this conversation, which we were 5 wide there. That's Skylar Taylor making his 2nd start on the season. Had a great showing last week at Charlotte. Got down the apron because he must have been told that they were 5 wide, and he bailed out of that situation. I don't know how we got through that without an incident. Credit to the 3 drivers that were in the middle of that as well, because that's the toughest area when you are 4 or 5 wide. If you're on the inside, you've got the apron to go down to. If you're on the outside, you can go up as high to the wall as you want to, but it is very congested when you're in the middle of a 3, 4, or 5 wide situation. So great job by everybody in that predicament to get through without tearing up any equipment. Madeline Crenshaw got that lap led. First of the night for her. Now 3 wide for the lead. Austin Reed, Kyle Langland, and Crenshaw. got a slow car up ahead. That's our pole sitter, Sophia Simon, who has apparently been to pit road for an unscheduled pit stop. Not certain the reasoning of it, but tough break there right out of the gate for the driver who qualified on the inside of the front row. If we're able to get any indication of why the 38 made the unscheduled stop, we will certainly show it to you via the NNSCRA split cam, but right now, Sophia Simon on the tail end of the lead lap and going to easily be reeled in by this pack. Remember I told you we're around 2:15 in the early stages of this race. Your race leader Crenshaw is about to hit 230 miles per hour, 228 going into turn 3. And they are going to catch that 38, who's going only about 210, so there's about a 10 mile per hour difference right there. Sophia Simon will be able to merge back in with this group, but she will be one lap down. I believe we had another driver that I saw back there that may have lost the pack. That's Cody Smart, who's actually on pit road here in the 17. We talked about him being one of the drivers that really needed some good luck to come his way. And that unscheduled pit stop is probably going to put him a lap down as well. Came into this race 20th in points. That is last of the drivers that have taken every green flag this season. The only driver behind him in points is Skylar Taylor, who made his debut last week at Charlotte. So a couple of Fords with some early issues here. Smart and Simon both have returned to the track, but both are one lap down as Samit Ozkan is going to lead that lap. Samit Ozkan looked good last week. We thought he was going to be one of the guys to watch for potentially battling for that win at Charlotte after he qualified on the pole. But that did not translate to anything close to what we expected, as he finished poorly, dropped 5 spots in the standings, 19th in overall points coming to this one. Jack Mitchell. Mitchell, I believe, finished 10th last week at Charlotte, and of course as well was in the Coca-Cola 600 after starting from the pole, making his first Duracell Cup Series start on the season. Didn't get that lap led though, as they split him 3 wide. Lap was actually led by Samit Ozkan in the 25. Now Roberto Crown Jr.'s battled back here in the 21. One thing I know about that area over in 1 and 2 is Benjamin Snyder's looking for the lead here going into 3. The car will, as I said, there's a bump there, so the cars will bottom out. I'm wondering if maybe the 38 and or the 17 may have bottomed out, slid up the track, and may have hit the wall, and they may have had to come to pit road to make sure that those right side tires were clear of having a tire rub. Again, this is speculation on my part because I have not seen the split cam while you guys already have. So you guys will already know the diagnosis if there is one. I, on the other hand, am left completely in the dark. Skylar Taylor, in only his 2nd start, going to move by David Dixon to the race lead. Skylar Taylor looking for his first lap led here in the Duracell Ultra Lite Series, but Eric Monaco is going to put a pin in that for now. So we were 4 wide again, that time through 3 and 4. Well, Armory Digital Super Speedway's pit road is not the hardest pit lane to get onto, but it is one of those pit roads that has a wall separating pit lane from the racetrack. And so when you've got a bunch of drivers coming down to the entrance of pit lane all together, it can be very congested. And oh, we got a wreck! Jack Mitchell, David Dixon were involved in that. I couldn't tell who the others were. Sophia Simon, the lap car, might have also been in that, and I think there was a 4th driver. As caution is indeed out, John Lightning Jr. looking to lead them back, but Madeline Crenshaw wants the lead. Going to be a drag race back here to the start-finish line, so everything I was going to talk about for green flag pit stops coming up is a moot point. I think the Toyota nose of John Lightning Jr. may have edged out Crenshaw there at the line. Scoring says that is indeed the case, so John Lightning Jr. will be the leader here under our first caution of the evening at Armory Digital. Looks like it was Sophia Simon, Jack Mitchell, David Dixon and Benny Watson, who were the 4 drivers that went around on the back straightaway. Question is, did they hit anything and how bad was the impact? Mitchell looks relatively good. Can't see the right side. Watson looks okay. Dixon doesn't look too bad. Little damage on the left side of his DHL Toyota. And Sophia Simon's got some damage on the back of the Reese's Ford Mustang. Again, can't see the right side of these cars with the camera angle, so they may, one or more, might have some damage that they would have to repair on the right side of their machines. Is interesting. Last week's winner, Virgil Alonso, coming down pit lane here, along with Nathan Fogler and Kyle Langland. Everybody else is staying out. There's no way they can make it on fuel, is there? There's no way they can make 48 laps on fuel. I mean, they couldn't even make it, what was it, 30 laps last week at Charlotte on fuel? It was about 29 laps max they were able to go, and that was a 1.5 mile racetrack. This is 2.5 miles. Very interesting that we only had a handful of drivers coming to pit lane. And I'm pretty sure I didn't even see any of the drivers involved in the wreck. Yeah, they all stayed out. Why? I'm not sure, especially the 45 of David Dixon and the 38 of Sophia Simon, who we could visibly see have some damage they're sporting. And at super speedway, you want your car to be as aerodynamically sound as possible. Even a slight ripple on the car could take away the straight line speed that you need. Let's take a look at what happened here on the back straightaway, see if we can pinpoint what went down. It looked like maybe Skylar Taylor was up and into the wall. David Dixon closed up the gap really quickly. They made contact and yeah, hit into the wall for both Sophia Simon and David Dixon. I think Benny Watson's car came to a stop quickly enough, and Jack Mitchell, looks like he and Watson may have had a little follow-up contact. I thought Mitchell was going to be perfectly fine, but now I'm not sure. See the 54, the sparks coming off of his right rear quarter panel as he was up into the fence. David Dixon had nowhere to go. Now watch right here as Watson comes back up. Right there, they're going to make some contact, he and Mitchell. Now it doesn't look like visibly there was any damage by either driver, but there definitely was some contact between the two. Let's see if we can get another camera angle here to be able to see about that impact for both Sophia Simon and David Dixon. Grass is not going to help slow the cars down. Oh, and a great view right there. Now Simon has damage on the right side as well, so damage on the right side and the rear. Dixon, we know, has damage on the left side, and it looked like the rear of his machine. And now we got drivers on pit lane. Maybe they wanted to go that extra lap. Maybe they wanted to pit one lap later to be able to make it the rest of the way. Interesting call. So Austin Reed's going to inherit the top position. This is going to make the call of Virgil Alonso, Nathan Fogler, Kyle Langland coming to pit lane look pretty good, because they're going to gain a ton of spots on the drivers that are just now hitting pit road. But they will more than likely be about a lap shorter on fuel. We still have 6 drivers that haven't come to pit lane here under this caution period. Reed, Monaco, Skylar Taylor, Kat Batson, Aaron Macklin, and Roberto Crown Jr. have stayed out on both laps of pacing so far, and we're probably going to get the 1 degree next time by, so do we see the front half dozen come to pit lane at this upcoming 1 degree? I mean, we've already seen pretty much, if you got a fast enough car and you know how to maneuver the draft, you can work your way from the back to the front very quickly, and we aren't even halfway in this race. So if it is coming down to fuel games, I wouldn't be surprised to see these drivers here give up that track position, come to pit road for that extra lap of fuel over the rest of the drivers that were just on pit lane, and try and see if maybe they have enough to get to the conclusion. And there you go. This, I think, is going to be the answer right there. Yep. they're going to come to pit lane this time around. So we're getting some strategy here under caution at Armory Digital, and that will turn the lead over to last week's winner, Virgil Alonso, who knows a thing or two about pit strategy. That's how he got that checkered flag last week at Charlotte. So it's going to be Chevy, Toyota, and Ford, the top three, as we should get the lights out this time for the upcoming restart. Virgil Alonso, Nathan Fogler, and Kyle Langland. Then John Lightning Jr. and Madeline Crenshaw are going to be the top five. All 21 drivers took the green to start this race are still running, 19 of them currently on the lead lap. Lengthy stay on pit road for the 45 of David Dixon. They have sent him down and away. He took a pretty good shot into the inside wall, as did Sophia Simon. We'll have to see if both those cars are up to speed when we go back green. With the speeds we were seeing carried between 215 to 225, depending on where you were in the field, that puts a huge emphasis on the car being in one piece. Even the slightest amount of damage could have you off the pace and losing the lead pack on the restart. There you see back there the 6 drivers that came to pit road, merging with the back of the pack. Amongst those drivers, a few winners intermingled there with Austin Reed and Eric Monaco, as well as Roberto Crown Jr., making a bid potentially through strategy for their second wins on the season. Well, we gave you the top 5. Back to Madeline Crenshaw. Stephen Burnside will line up in 6th. The lap car of Cody Smart will separate him from 7th place Nathan Stapleton. Cole Coybe will be in 18th. Benjamin Snyder, I'm sorry, not 18th, in 8th rather. Just reading his car number rather than his running position. Benjamin Snyder will be in 9th. And Samet Ozkan will complete the top 10. Restart will be with a total of 32 laps to go, so we're a third of the way through this race once they cross the line. We don't know what the fuel window really is, but we know some fuel strategy games were played here under this yellow flag. Do they have enough to make it to the conclusion? Is there at least one more pit stop in the future of these drivers? We're going to have to wait and see. Single file restart here too. They were double file in the initial start, and it didn't take them long to go 3, 4, and on an occasion 5 wide. Let's see how anxious they are to get back to that multi-lane racing once again. Top 3 single file, 3 wide for 4th. Coybe, Stapleton, Langland. Now Fogler shows the nose to the inside of Virgil Alonso going into turn 1. Nathan Fogler edged for the moment ahead out of turn 2, but now that outside line gets the momentum. This kind of reminds me on the straightaways a lot of Coke Zero Super Speedway, and the track we'll be seeing the Duracell Cup Series drivers at tomorrow, M&M Super Speedway, and the fact that there's so much of an opportunity to generate a run that then when you make the move on the straightaway, a lot of drivers stay lined up on that outside line up against the wall, while there's all sorts of different lanes that are being utilized down below, and usually the straighter, tighter draft is right up against that wall. So we saw moments ago a 3-wide move to try and get by Virgil Alonso, but because a lot of drivers were lined up on that outside line, he got the straight line push down the backstretch and was able to keep the other drivers in the rearview mirror. See a lot of that tomorrow, I'm sure, as well, tomorrow afternoon at M&M Super Speedway in our Super Speedway double-header weekend here for the Lights drivers and the Cup Series drivers. Eighth with Stapleton, not going to be denied. Jump down to the inside of Virgil Alonso. And he is going to clear. To the top position goes the Powerade Ford Mustang. Is he going to lead the lap, though? Samit Ozkan try to get him. Not going to be able to do it. That'll be Stapleton's first lap lead of the night. I think probably by the end of the evening it's going to be easier to list off the drivers that didn't lead a lap than the drivers that did. So far, looks like all but 10 or 11 drivers have led a lap in this one. Most laps so far have been led tonight by Virgil Alonso, 5 in total. Kyle Langland has led 4. 2 laps led apiece so far by Samit Ozkan, Austin Reed, John Layton Jr. Aaron Macklin just led his first lap of the night right there. He's been out in front, as has Stapleton, Crenshaw, Monaco, Roberta Crown Jr., and David Dixon. So point of note, we went back green with 32 laps remaining. If you cannot make it on fuel, what is the strategy that you want to play here? Do you maybe want to split this final run in half, come to pit road somewhere around the lap 32 mark? Do you want to run as far as you possibly can, come down pit road and take on the less amount of fuel? I don't really know, as Crenshaw way up the track there, up onto the rumble strips. I don't know if she was in the wall or not. We'll have to follow up on that. But I don't know. Oh, yeah, Crenshaw's lost the pack right there. But I don't know if this is a track that necessarily does a lot in terms of tire wear. I know tire heat comes into play. That sharper, more banked 1 and 2 center area that I keep talking about, that little dip down area. I know that can overload the right front, can slide it and build up the tire heat and everything. I don't know if it wears the right front nearly as much, so I don't know if tires are an optimal at a track like this if you're coming down for a green flag pit stop. And again, with not knowing what the fuel window is, I'm not certain that if you did come to pit lane with about 16 to go, splitting the whole thing in half, I don't know how much fuel you would have to take on. So, if you had to take on a can of fuel, maybe you'd have enough time to change the right side tires. Took a can and a half, something like that, but if you only had to take on a half can to reach the rest of the way, then would you even bother taking and putting tires on? I don't know. I really don't know, if tires would be an advantage in a race like this. And we saw last week, waiting until the very last moment coming to pit road was the strategy that worked out for Virgil Alonso to be able to pick up his first win on the season. So you may have a lot of drivers, if it's just fuel only that they will take on the final pit stop of the evening, they may end up waiting until the very last moment to make that dive into pit road. And again, that's even speculating that they can't make it on fuel. We don't know what the fuel window is for these drivers. Let me continue to stress that. We would have gotten an idea had we not had that yellow flag come out potentially, because we knew they weren't going to be able to make it 48 laps. There's no way they were going to make it the entire way. But now, with that restart at 32 to go, we don't know if maybe they can make it the rest of the way at this point in time. The drivers that we would have to keep an eye on would have to be Virgil Alonso, Nathan Fogler, and who was the other driver that came down pit road with them? There was another driver that also made the dive into pit lane with those two. Was it Roberta Crown Jr., I think? No, it wasn't Roberta Crown Jr. I'm trying to remember who it was. There were 3 drivers that hit pit road. I know who 2 of them were. I can't remember who the other one was. You'd have to think that they'd be the shortest on fuel And maybe none more so than the 52, because he's back out in front again. He's led 5 laps out in front. Granted, a couple of them were under caution, under the pacing period. But he being out in front now here too, he's using up more fuel. Look at the gap he's been able to put back to second place. That's not exactly a good thing. Aaron Macklin, Sam Badaskan, Skylar Taylor, seeing that gap close up, licking their chops, and Macklin's going to take complete advantage of that. 3 wide, 4 wide further back there with Monaco and Nate Fogler. Update on a few drivers since we went back green. Looks like David Dixon is up to speed, but he's not been able to really get himself up any higher than the tail end of the lead pack. Madeline Crenshaw, who we saw up the racetrack, I don't know if she got in the wall, but she definitely lost a lot of momentum. She was up as high as the rumble strips that try to aid a driver from going up into the wall. You'll see those rumble strips right there on the top lane of the racetrack. She's lost the draft and running all by her lonesome. And Sophia Simon, who apparently they didn't do a whole lot of repair on that race car, still has a lot of damage on the back end of her Reese's Ford Mustang, is running currently off the pace and is about to get reeled in by the race leaders. Actually, update on David Dixon as well. Dixon is currently being scored a lap down. Did they catch the 45 and put him down a lap and I didn't see it? That might have been what happened. But he is being scored -1 right now. David Dixon, Sophia Simon took the biggest hits into the inside wall in the back straightaway for our first caution. And here we go. Pit lane. About to be a busy place. Aaron Macklin coming in hot along with Sam Adoskan, Benjamin Snyder, Cole Koibe, Eric Monaco. You got some others that were just on pit road the lap before. Kyle Langland, Cody Smart. I think Nathan Fogler was also on pit road as first lap lead of his career, the Costco Toyota of Skylar Taylor. These pit stops taking place only about, what, 14 laps, 14, 15 laps since we went back green, as Kat Batson just took the lead from Taylor before both of them are going to make the dive onto pit road, along with John Lightning Jr. and Roberto Crown Jr. Well, they ended up going to, what was it, lap 14, I think it was, before the caution came out, lap 12 through 13. They're coming to pit road about 14 laps into this run, so again, not 100% certain, because we don't really know what the fuel window exactly is, but does that mean that they're going to have to come to pit road at least one more time? Because these pit stops are taking place around 18 to go, and if about 14 laps is the furthest they really can make it, 14, 15 laps, they're going to be somewhere about 3-4 laps shy on fuel. This is potentially the battle for the race lead. Still waiting to see about where the others come out. Kat Batson and Skylar Taylor. There's Kat just now leaving pit road. So yeah, this will cycle out as the battle for the top position. Samit Ozkan, Benjamin Snyder, and Aaron Macklin look like they'll be the top 3. The pit stops definitely splitting the field up quite a bit. Benjamin Snyder, one of 7 drivers that have not led a lap yet here tonight, is now going to make it 6 drivers that haven't led, as he will get himself a lap led bonus point right there. 6 drivers that have yet to lead a lap so far in this one: Cole Koibe, Stephen Burnside, Benny Watson, Jack Mitchell, Cody Smart, and Sophia Simon. Unlikely that Smart or Simon will lead a lap here tonight. Both of them off the lead lap. Cody Smart -1, Sophia Simon -2. Nathan Fogler actually has not led a lap either. I missed his name, and so that would be 7 drivers that haven't led a lap now. It was originally 8. Koibe is the highest of those that haven't led a lap, and he's leading this second group with Kyle Langland, Kat Batson, and Herjo Alonso. They are making ground up as well on that lead pack. They've got some more numbers added into their flock. Skylar Taylor, Nathan Stapleton, and Nathan Fogler. Last time by, Koibe ran a 42.8. The field up ahead of him, the fastest driver was Macklin with a 42.9. So they're gaining about a tenth to a tenth and a half every lap. Then you've got pack number 3, which has about 4 or 5 drivers, maybe 6 if Jack Mitchell can latch on. Stephen Burnside in this group, along with Eric Monaco, Austin Reed, Roberto Crown Jr., John Lightning Jr., and Jack Mitchell. Benny Watson in the lap car of Sophia Simon trying to get up there as well, try and increase the numbers of this third pack. That time by, gap closed up 0.8 of a second from pack 2 to pack 1. They had 3.5 seconds up on them, then 2.7. Gap will certainly close again this lap as they've got the numbers, they've got the speed. 217, 218 for these cars here, 225 for the cars here in the second pack. Let's see what the gap is this time. It was 2.7 seconds from 4th up to the lead this time by as we wait for the scoring to update itself. .2 took its time updating there, but half a second chipped away that lap alone. Aaron Macklin swapping the lead back and forth here with Snyder and Oskin. Now has the most laps led tonight, surpassing Herjo Alonso 6. Macklin now has 7 laps led in the Nintendo Toyota Camry. That most laps led bonus point, you had to think, with all the passing we saw in the early going, was going to be anybody's guess and certainly up for grabs. As Benjamin Snyder continues to show the way. This group's going to get swallowed up very quickly. We're going to have a pack of 10 that could be in the conversation for this race win. That is if they can make it on fuel. That's going to be the biggest concern right now. Pretty much everybody came to pit road somewhere in the vicinity of 16 laps to go. There's about 16, 17, 18 laps to go depending on when they hit pit lane. So, don't know. Some crazy racing here tonight at Armory Digital Super Speedway for the Duracell Ultra Lite Series drivers. Tomorrow afternoon, it will be the cap-off of our Super Speedway weekend with the Cup drivers at M&M's Super Speedway. Should be a good one there. Qualifying was fun to watch earlier on today. And when all 42 drivers are lined up, nose to tail, getting ready for the green flag tomorrow, should be a fun one. We've already had 2 Super Speedway races for the Cup drivers this season, and both have played out interesting race winners. Daytona yielded a non-charter, then part-timer in Matthew Rodriguez going to victory lane, and then Coke Zero Super Speedway saw rookie Casey Hoyt pick up his second win on the season. So who is next tomorrow afternoon? We'll have to wait and see. Now, remember what I said about the super speedways always seem to cater to the underdogs? Well, how about Skylar Taylor? Making his second start in the season, had that good performance last week, ran top 15 all night long, was in the top 10 for a cup of coffee. Finished the day out in 16th place after qualifying 5th. And now has brought up this pack into the top with the top 3. So 10 drivers in the conversation for this win. And Taylor would love it to be him in only his second start. Could be a big opportunity tonight as well for Cole Koibe. because Benny Watson, Eric Monaco, and John Lightning Jr., none of those three are up here in this lead group. Koibe is 4th in overall points, 20 points out, and if he can pick up the victory here this evening, he could, I don't know if he would necessarily be able to take the points lead, but he would definitely be in the conversation for it next week. But Skylar Taylor has gone to the front. Kyle Langland going to move down to the inside, though, looking for that position. Wanted to join Benny Watson as a 2-time winner on the season. Right now, we have, I believe, only two former winners up here in this lead group. Langland and Virgil Alonso. Everybody else is looking for their first win of their Duracell Ultra Light Series season as, Skylar Taylor up there on that rumble strip into the wall, almost came down into the 52. That was very nearly a wreck. We've seen Skylar Taylor make a couple of mistakes, getting a little too high up there and into the outside wall. The first time that we saw it, it brought about our first and only caution of the evening. Samit Ozkin now will go to the race lead. They're catching the 22 of Madeline Crenshaw, who is on the tail end of the lead lap. Unless a caution comes out, not going to be a good points day for the points leader, Benny Watson. Right now, he is running back in a 2-car tandem with Jack Mitchell, 16th and 17th for those two drivers right now. Eric Monaco is back in the 3rd group, but they're about 6 seconds behind this lead pack. Monaco running in 13th, and John Lightning Jr. is right there with him, right behind him in 14th place. So like I said, big opportunity tonight for Cole Koibe to cut into that points lead. Kat Batson moving up into 3rd, but we've got pit road going to come into play in the final stages here. I said it, what was it? 4, 5, 6 laps short. It looked like they would be. And Kyle Langland and Virgil Alonso are the first two to make the dive onto pit lane. 4 wide here, as they're trying to make their way around the 22 of Madeline Crenshaw, who's the next one to make the dive onto pit lane. It's all going to be about execution, coming to, being on, and leaving pit road. That long winding access road off of 1 and 2 can be kind of slippery. Got to be careful while on the throttle there, as Koibe's coming in, Snyder's coming in, Fogler, Stapleton, and Macklin all coming down pit road here. You see them all flying down pit road. They only need to stay to the left of the commitment cone. It's not until they get to the start of the pit stalls that they have to bring it down to the 65-mile-per-hour pit speed. So making use of every available inch of asphalt there. When I mentioned about execution on pit road, you also want to have a partner or two come to pit lane with you, because you're not going to turn good lap times out there all by your lonesome. David Dixon about to go a lap down. As Skylar Taylor stays out an extra lap. Samit Ozkan and Kat Batson are in this time, along with the lap machine of Madeline Crenshaw. So now it is all up to the driver making his second start as to this strategy. Skylar Taylor staying out all by himself. We'll see if this pans out in his favor or not. And we'll also try and see if we can find where the potential battle for the lead is going to cycle around to. I think you'd have to look in the vicinity of Kat Batson or Aaron Macklin, Virgil Alonso, but they all are pitting on separate laps, so we got to wait for it all to cycle around. Taylor and lap car of Dixon in this time. So, John Lightning Jr. had actually stayed out an extra lap as well. Didn't document that. He's coming in this time around. I think right here might be your race leader when it all cycles. And here's the pack that would try to catch him, with Snyder, Koibe, Langland, and Alonso. I think Samit Ozkan is going to cycle out to the front, but will he be P1 once they get around the 54? I don't know either if it is the 25 or the 54 crossing the line that would put lap 46 on the board. Apparently it is the 25 crossing the line that puts the 46th lap on the board. And you saw as soon as he crossed the line, that pack of four had reeled him in. Kyle Langland flew by him, and now looks like he would cycle to the point. Although I think Skylar Taylor did get out ahead. He did. All by his lonesome, though. This group's going to catch him. And I don't think he's got enough laps to be able to keep this gap between him and these other 5 lead lap cars. We're going to have some lap machines in the mix here. The 45, the 17, the 22 are all off the lead lap, as Benjamin Snyder going to make the quick pass on the lap machines and move into second place. Now he'll set his sights on Skylar Taylor. Samit Ozkan, Virgil Alonso going to move into third and fourth. Cole Koibe kind of boxed in back there right now. He's got to get by these guys to remain in the conversation, and we may have a couple of others that might be some last-minute additions. Nathan Stapleton, as well as, who was that, Cap Batson and Nathan Fogler. They might be able to catch up here in time and be in the fight for this. There's the gap. Skylar Taylor back to the rest of the field, and this time by it's the white flag. They're going to have a big run on the 54. 1 lap to go here at Armory Digital Super Speedway. Can Skylar Taylor keep Benjamin Snyder in his rearview mirror? Snyder with a full head of steam. Dives to the inside, will easily make the pass. Oh, Taylor comes down and almost gets into the 52 of Alonso. That's going to stall out their momentum. Benjamin Snyder tried to hang on now, about 2 car lengths back to last week's winner, Virgil Alonso, who's looking for 2 in a row. Kyle Langland in third. Taylor there in fourth. Langland's going to go to the inside of Virgil Alonso for second place. That could be all she wrote. Benjamin Snyder through the tri-oval and to the start-finish line. He is a winner in the Duracell Ultra Lite Series as he takes the checkered flag here at Armory Digital Super Speedway. First win of his Duracell Ultra Lite Series career. And a driver that came into this race 14th in points, had a good run last week at Charlotte, trending upward, continues to trend upward, as he'll put the light blue Maverick Ford Fusion in victory lane here tonight at a track that has a little bit of light blue paint on it, just a little. Benjamin Snyder, big win for him here this evening. We'll have to wait and see where this positions him in the points heading into next week. Points are still super close, even though we've got 8 races under our belts here in the Lite Series. Now let's take a look at the finishing results, which I believe are indeed official. Snyder with the win. It's a 1-2 finish for the Blue Ovals, with Kyle Langland bringing it home in second. Virgil Alonso, 1 week removed from his first victory of the season, gets third. Skylar Taylor, in only his second start, almost had that victory, but will bring it home in a top 5. And Samit Ozkan will finish in 5th. Cole Koibe, going to be a good points day for him in 6th. Nathan Fogler brings it home 7th. Nathan Stapleton in 8th. 9th was Kath Batson, and Aaron Macklin will complete the top 10. Reed Burnside, John Lightning Jr., Roberto Crown Jr., Eric Monaco, the top 15. Jack Mitchell and Benny Watson were the last drivers to finish on the lead lap. Our top 3 in points did not finish in the top 10 here today, which is why Koibe's 6th position is going to look so much better when heading into next week as far as the point standings positioning is concerned. Madeline Crenshaw finished this race 1 lap down. Cody Smart, David Dixon, and Sophia Simon 2 laps down. Crenshaw got up into the wall, had damage. Cody Smart had an unscheduled pit stop in the early stages, as did Sophia Simon, and both Dixon and Simon were involved and got pretty good damage with the inside wall in our first and only caution of the night, but all 21 drivers did reach the conclusion of this race. Well, a wild finish here tonight for our first of 2 Super Speedway races on the weekend. Tomorrow it's M&M Super Speedway that will cap this weekend off for the Cup drivers. Benjamin Snyder, first career victory in the Duracell Ultralight Series here at Armory Digital Super Speedway this evening. Congratulations to him. If you guys enjoyed tonight's race from Armory Digital, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to part of the crew today. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for the Cup races. We've shown you full feature results, and these are the point standings heading into next week. Until then, though, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.